Morning, everybody. We've been looking on a Sunday about how the Bible is one complete story that tells about the coming of Jesus and the need for him to come. So as we think about Christmas, I just want us to take a quick look and a quick journey through the story. So, previously on God's story, we have Adam and Eve, and humanity decided that it was going to go its own way and not listen to God. And God made promises that he was going to send somebody who would restore people to God. Not just one nation, but people. God then makes a promise to a man called Abraham that his descendants would be more than the stars in the skies. But in Genesis 12, he promises that all the nations of the earth would be blessed. Fast forward to David. And David, as the son of Jesse, is given the title of king and a promise made to him that his kingdom would rule forever, that he would be the recipient of a promise of an eternal kingdom. And one of the names for the Messiah is the root of Jesse, or the branch of Jesse. If we go to Isaiah chapter 11, we have these verses. In that day, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the peoples. The nations will rally to him, and the place of his rest will be glorious. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah. And it goes on to talk about, they will swoop on the slopes of Philistia to the west. Together they will plunder the people of the east. They will lay hands on Edom and Moab, and the Ammonites will be subject to him. You might think, why have I thought about the Ammonites? If we go to Jeremiah 49, it says that the Lord will restore Ammon. Now, if I can just show you, here we have Judah. This is the Salt Sea, or the Dead Sea. And here is Ammon, which is in modern-day Jordan. Now, this is east of the Jordan River. So anybody who's east of this sea and east of this river, the Jordan River, would be called the people of the east. We come over to 2 Peter chapter 9, and it says, "The Lord is not slow in doing what he promised, the way that some people understand slowness. But God is being patient with you. He does not want anyone to be lost. He wants everyone to change his heart and life." So we've seen a story so far, and we come today to the Magi, or the wise men from the east, who have seen a star. Now these people, I believe, the Bible tells us came from the east. I believe that they were Arabs. I believe that they came from the east of the Jordan River. But wherever they came from, whether it's modern-day Iran or modern-day Jordan, they are Gentiles. And after 400 years of silence, God chooses to show Gentiles, to show Arabs, to show previous enemies of God's people his special star and lead them. And the Bible tells us that they came, in verse 2, it says, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who is to be born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." God isn't slow in keeping his promises, and he promised that all nations of the earth would come to worship him. He would rally all nations to him. And here are people who have seen a star, who are Gentiles, who are former enemies of God, who are the recipients, who are the beginners almost, of this promise that God has made, that all nations would come and worship him. So let's have a think today of the journey that these people took, but also the journey that we have been taking through God's story. And remember that God isn't slow in keeping his promises. He's kept every single promise, whether it's a 25-year promise that he made to Abraham for his son, or whether it's a thousands of year promise to bring the Messiah. God will keep his promises, and all nations will come to worship him.